HSBC is set to begin a pandemic-induced overhaul of its business. The bank wants to flip its main source of income from interest rates to fee-based business. Reporting a better-than-expected quarterly profit, Europe's largest bank also says it might reinstate dividend payments. Roland Lim has more.
Loan losses at HSBC were at the lower end of expectations. Now, provisions for bad loans dropped to 785 million in the 3 months to September, compared to 3.8 billion the previous quarter. Analysts were expecting bad loan provisions to have doubled to 2 billion for the third quarter. The bank now expects total loan losses for the year to be at the lower end of the $8 and $13 billion range that was previously announced or estimated. The lower losses, of course, helping its adjusted pre-tax profit for the third quarter to slide 21% to $4.3 billion. The street was expecting lower pre-tax at 2.8 billion instead. Noel Quinn, HSBC's chief executive, called the results promising and that the bank's earnings in Asia proved particularly resilient. The region escaped the worst ravages of the coronavirus, and China last week reported a strong rebound in growth, putting its economy on course to expand this year. Now, as a result of the good showing, HSBC says it would consider paying a 2020 dividend, depending on the bank's forecast for 2021 and with consultations with regulators. Remember, HSBC cancelled its payout earlier this year under pressure from the Bank of England, and that drew the ire of its investors. All that being said, though, there is still a high degree of uncertainty for HSBC due to COVID-19 and geopolitical tensions. Now, management says it is assessing and monitoring the impact of U.S. sanctions on Hong Kong entities and individuals as a result of the national security law imposed in Hong Kong. The bank pointed out that Washington may identify more individuals and entities for sanctions after it earlier announced a list of 11 people for sanctions under the Hong Kong Autonomy Act. The U.S. government has already listed Chief Executive Carrie Lam and 10 other top officials for undermining Hong Kong's autonomy. HSBC is warning that the ongoing Sino-US tensions could result in an increasingly fragmented trade and regulatory environment, while investors and business sentiment here in some sectors is already subdued. But it did add on a positive note, though, that the financial services sector in Hong Kong has benefited from stable liquidity conditions and remains strong.